Mr. Cochran, Mr. Blazer, Mr. Neufeld, Mr. Scheck, people represented by Mr. Darden and Mr. Goldberg. Jury is not present. Counsel, anything we need to take up before we invite the jurors to join us? Mr. Shapiro, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Your Honor. Your Honor, this morning I privately apologized to Mr. Dennis Fung for some remarks that I made outside of court, and I want to publicly apologize to him and to all my friends in the Asian American community that last week friends of ours from a Chinese restaurant that we frequent sent us some fortune cookies. They were at the council table when I arrived after lunch on Thursday. I had one and offered some to two members of the press, and then made a remark which was meant to be facetious and was taken by those who received it as being facetious. However, I understand the sensitivities of people, and in hindsight, those remarks could have been misconstrued as being something other than just in humor and being a pun. As Your Honor knows, me for a long period of time, my career has been based on representing individuals who are primarily of minority groups. And I harbor no racial bias towards any group or any community in the world. My heart has been heavy all weekend if even one person has been offended. And for that, I sincerely apologize. Mr. Cochran, today I understand, was also reported as having passed out fortune cookies. He has not. I was the only one responsible, but on behalf of myself and Mr. Cochran, both of us, through our careers, have built a solid reputation representing minority groups of which we are both a part. And therefore, if any person or persons was offended, my sincere and most humble apologies are given, and especially to Mr. Fung. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Shapiro. All right, counsel, I understand we have an issue to resolve regarding videotapes. Do we need to view those?
Yes.
All right, what's the nature of this videotape, Mr. Goldberg?
Your Honor, we received another videotape depicting events at Rockingham with a time counter in it. And it depicts some of the same events that we've already seen from different angles, in our view, better angles, and one new event that was not seen on the other videotapes. We would like to use it, and also use it in conjunction with the time counter to show when those events occurred. We provided the defense with a beta copy of that tape, which apparently they have not viewed because they don't have a beta tape player. So that's where we are.
All right, Mr. Scheck.
Yes, I understand, Your Honor.
Morning,
that,
sir.
we would like to avail ourselves of the opportunity to look at that in chambers and confer among ourselves. Since it's new footage, we haven't seen it.
All right, is there any disagreement as to, I see we have Mr. Coogan here from KBC. Is there any dispute as to the foundation? Or you don't know until you see it? All right, so we're going to have to sit and watch this for 25 minutes?
I didn't hear what the answer was to dispute as to foundation. Was that what
No, they indicated they wanted to see it first before we dealt with any foundational issues. All right, then we'll stand in recess until council have had the opportunity to review this new videotape. I'll make my VHS available to you. All right. All parties are again present, and counsel, you've had the opportunity to review the VHS version of the tape from KBC News. Mr. Cochran, Mr. Scheck, any comment?
We've viewed the tape. It's certainly enlightening. In terms of the times, I think it's the best recollection of Mr. Coogan that in terms of the process by which he sets the times, he doesn't think it would be off by more than 30 or 40 seconds. Have an abundance of caution, but in an estimate that he, I think, doesn't believe would really be accurate. He has indicated it could be off as much as 5 minutes. Frankly, I think that we should go with his best recollection and stipulate in terms of exactly what he did.
Do you want to stipulate, or do you want to have a hearing outside the presence of the jury? Mr. Coogan's here with his counsel.
No, I'm just talking about the times. I'm saying he submitted an affidavit that said it could be off by as much as 5 minutes, but in talking with him, I think the prosecution will agree his best estimate is really no more than 30 or 40 seconds. So I'd rather go with that, because
All right,
I think that's his best recollection.
Mr. Goldberg, what's your position?
Well, I think we should just go with what he said, and we could probably just ask him exactly what he said, and then stipulate to that, which is, I believe, that he looks at the clock in the station, which is apparently highly accurate, periodically, and sets his watch by that clock, so that his best statement as to how far off he is.
All right, well, let me ask you
is about 30
this.
seconds.
Do we have a stipulation, or do we have to put something on the record?
Well, I know we never had an opportunity to discuss it with counsel.
Agreed on the time.
That's his best recollection, but that out of an abundance of caution, it could conceivably be off by as much as 5 minutes,
Yeah.
but that's a very, as I think he
No,
said,
I'd rather go.
conservative estimate.
I'd rather go with what his best recollection of what happened is, rather than any guesses. That's all. That's what I would propose to stipulate to.
All right, is that stipulation acceptable to the people? The 30 to... Do you want to call Mr. Coogan out of order in front of the jury to lay the foundation?
Maybe if counsel and I sit down with Mr. Coogan, we can come up with an exact,
But that's...
precisely worded stipulation.
Mr. Coogan, come on up. And counsel, your name for the record?
Stephen Perry from Miller's House Council, Your Honor.
All right, good morning, counsel.
Good morning.
All right, counsel, why don't you confer with Mr. Coogan and see if we can save some time here. Mr. Scheck, have we agreed upon a stipulation regarding the timestamp?
I believe we have, Your Honor.
Mr. Goldberg?
Yes. The proposed stipulation is that Mr. Coogan be deemed to have been called, duly sworn, and testified that he makes it his practice to check his personal watch, his wristwatch, against the station clock, which he does every 2 to 3 weeks, and sets them. That when he does this, that he notices that he is off by no more than 30 to 40 seconds. That he told the camera woman on June the 13th, who shot the video tape images that we're going to be showing, to set the camera's clock, and that it was set against his watch, that the items, that the various clips are in sequence, and that the clock and the camera continues to run after the camera is off.
All right, is that stipulation acceptable to the prosecution?
To the
Excuse me,
defense.
to the defense.
Yes.
All right, then that's accepted by the court, and Mr. Goldberg, you can offer that stipulation before the jury, is that correct?
Yes.
All right.
Your Honor, before Mr. Perry and Mr. Coogan leave, we had subpoenaed footage and outtakes from Bundy. We have some concern about selective production. We would ask that the court order KABC to turn over to us their outtakes from Bundy. If they're going to be turning over the outtakes from Rockingham, I think in the interests of getting to the truth here, we should, I'd ask the court to order them to turn over their outtakes from Bundy.
Well, that would be in the form of a formal motion on written notice, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not inclined to do that without formal motion. Outtakes being a hot topic of
I mean,
litigation.
I think, Your Honor, when we subpoena them, we don't get them, but these are turned over. I mean, I just think in fairness.
Well, counsel, I
can't be this
agree with
selective
you that
disclosure.
maybe there's an issue here, but
Okay.
you need a notice motion before I start.
Well, this just came up.
Okay. You've got counsel's card.
I did?
You know where to
Okay.
find him.
Your Honor, I have one more motion,
All right, thank you, counsel. Thank you, Mr. Coogan.
one more request
Yes, sir.
before the jury is brought back, and that is I took a look at the court's proposed charge with respect to the page 4 of the Rockingham checklist, as you wrote it, and made two small additions concerning the fact
All right,
that...
counsel indicated we're going to take up these matters on
Well,
Wednesday.
Your Honor, if I may, I'd ask you to peruse this and take a look at it for this reason, and that is...
No, counsel, we're going to discuss this on May. That's the end of the subject.
Your Honor,
Excuse me, on Wednesday.
Right,
That's
could
the
I
end of the
could I
subject.
just have this alternative marked, and I'd just like to make this record, Your Honor.
No,
It
Wednesday.
won't take very long. It'll take a few minutes. Your Honor, I think that I was...
Mr. Scheck, I'm going to tell you for the fourth time, no. Sit down.
All right.
Let's have the jury. The actual physical custody of that. Mrs. Robertson, do you have that tape now? Let the record reflect, we've been rejoined by all the members of our jury panel. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me apologize to you again. Mr. Fung, would you have a seat, please? Let me apologize to you again for our late start this morning. We had some matters that I had to take up out of your presence. I did not anticipate that they would take so long. I trust we all had an interesting and entertaining weekend. Good. All right. Thank you. Also, because we've lost some time this morning, we're going to reconvene at 1 o'clock rather than our usual 1:30, so a little quicker lunch hour, but I'd like to get as much time in front of the jury as possible. Also, some matters have come up that have been brought to my attention regarding specifically issues that impact our jurors, and it will be necessary for me to talk to each one of you individually, and I'm going to start that process this afternoon. So when we recess court for the day, I'm going to call you in one at a time. I anticipate being able to get to perhaps maybe 3 or 4 of you every afternoon between 4:30 and 6 for the next several days, and I'll take you in order, starting with juror number 1, and I need to discuss some matters with you, each of you privately, with a few of the lawyers present. So just so you understand what will be going on. All right, Mr. Funk? Mr. Dennis Fung is again on the witness stand undergoing redirect examination by Mr. Goldberg. Good morning again, Mr. Fung.
Good morning.
You're reminded, sir, you're still under oath. And Mr. Goldberg, do we have the tape? Mr. Scheck, do we have the tape? The tape. Did you leave it in the machine?
I think we just left your copy.
Bottom machine?
Your Honor, can I, perhaps I can mark that now while we're getting it. And then
Well, I want to make sure that Ms. Robertson's got physical custody of the tape. Robertson advises me there is no tape in the machine. All right. Mr. Goldberg.
I'd like to mark this my next exhibit in order. I believe it's 186.
All right, People's 186 videotape.
Yes. And I believe it depicts some footage at the Rockingham location.
All right, you may proceed.
Your Honor, I wanted to show this tape as my next exhibit, but may I offer the stipulation now?
Yes.
Okay. Counsel, will you stipulate that Mark Coogan of KABC be deemed to have been called, duly sworn, and testified that People's 186 is a videotape that was shot on June the 13th of 1994, that he makes it his practice to check his personal watch against the station clock, which he does every 2 to 3 weeks, in order to set them, that when he does this, he has noticed that he is off by no more than 30 to 40 seconds, that he told the camera woman that shot this tape to turn on the clock inside the camera, which was set against his watch, the sequences contained in the tape are in sequence chronologically, and that the clock on the camera continues to roll even when the camera is off.
Yes, that's what Mr. Coogan would testify to.
All right, stipulation is accepted by the court. Ladies and gentlemen, as I told you when we began the trial, a stipulation between the attorneys is an agreement between the parties as to certain facts. You were to accept those facts as being true. All right, Mr. Goldberg, you may proceed.
I'd like to play portions of the tape.
All right, and let's make sure monitor in the front is working. Juror number one, is that? Right.
Perhaps we could stop it for just 1 minute. Okay, it's at
1712.
17:12. Now, Mr. Fung, at this point in the videotape, what has just happened?
Criminalist Mazzola and I have just taken back the evidence and placed it into the crime scene truck.
And 1712 is 512?
Yes.
Okay. All right, perhaps we can continue now. Mr. Fairtlow. Perhaps we can rewind that and take a look at that again. This is at 17:17, Mr. Fung, which would be 5:17 in the evening.
Yes.
Do you recognize anything about the item that Detective Van Adder was holding? Maybe we can rewind that again. Can we go slowly? Can we get it right when it flipped back? Right when the item flipped back? If we could go in slow motion, possibly. Now look carefully, Mr. Fung, for when the wind pushes the top of the item back. Okay, there. Just one frame or 2 frames back, there.
All right, 17, 17, 07, and 17 on the counter. Can we get a better still on that?
Yeah, right there.
Right there.
There. That one. It was a few, about two. There. Is it possible to print that out, Mr. Fairtlow? Your Honor, perhaps we could have the printout marked as 186A.
All right, just so the record's complete, this is frame 171707 sub 20 on the counter.
Your Honor, I'd like to approach the witness and show him People's 163H again, if I may.
You may.
Sir, I'm showing you 163H again. Can you hold up the item there that constitutes the type of gray envelope into which reference samples are placed, and show the jury? Okay. Now, if you look at the reverse side of that, is that the way these envelopes typically appear?
Yes,
And they have a little clasp?
there's a clasp with a hole in the flap section of the envelope.
And when you worked in toxicology at the Los Angeles Police Department, did you see these kinds of envelopes on a regular basis?
Yes.
And what does the item in Detective Van Adder's hand appear to be to you?
It appears to be a gray analyzed evidence envelope that typically holds biological specimens. Your Honor, maybe I can place a 186A on the reverse side of this.
You may.
Okay. Let's continue with the tape if we can, Mr. Fairtlow. Maybe we can back up again, Mr. Fairtlow, and take another look at the sequence of inside the foyer area. Stop. Can you back up for just a few frames? Okay, one or two frames forward. There. Can you go like 2 frames forward? Okay, there. Stop. Can we get a print of that, Mr. Fairtlow? That's at 17/18/57, Your Honor.
12.
Yes.
You want to mark print out of this frame 186B?
Yes, Your Honor. Now, Mr. Fung, did you have the opportunity to take a look at this videotape yesterday? Several
Yes.
times. And what does the item in your hand appear, what is the item in your hand?
There are 2 things I am carrying. One is a plastic bag, and the other is an envelope.
Did this refresh your recollection, sir, as to where you were at the time that you received the envelope from Mr. Van Adder?
Yes, it did.
Where was that?
That was in the foyer at Rockingham.
Oh, it's finished. Let's continue with this tape, if we can, very slowly. Mr. Fairtlow. Mr. Fairtlow, can you see if you can get that second zoom in that we just saw a few frames back? Right there. Let's go several frames forward from here, Mr. Fairtlow. Okay, can we back up for a moment? Okay, Mr. Fairtlook, can you see if you can clear up this image at 17, 18, 57, 17?
Just lost it.
Just a few frames before this.
17 on the last counter.
Reversing a little bit. Let's see if we can get a shot of it that way.
Isn't this the first sequence?
No, this is the second sequence of the foyer.
I think this is the first sequence.
Go forward to 17, 18, 57. I mean,
Mr. Goldberg?
I think it was right before this that there was another shot of the
17, 18, 57 is something that is People's 186B. We printed
yeah,
this.
that's 5712.
Okay.
And it's slightly after that. There's another. Yeah. Here, let's do it this way. Let's start and just run it through in real time, okay? Or from the beginning of the sequence of the foyer. Okay, now we're at 17, 19, 40. In these frames, can you still see the items in your hand?
Yes.
And what are those items, Mr. Fung?
The items appear to be an envelope and a plastic bag.
And the plastic bag is, which plastic bag is that?
That is the plastic bag that Ms. Mazzola carried out to the crime scene truck on the second trip.
Okay. And the envelope is,
The envelope is the envelope which contained the blood vial given to me by Detective Van Adder.
now, sir, the gentleman who has his back to the door, to the camera, do you know who he is?
Yes, he's a LAPD photographer, Mr. Wilson.
Now,
That's referring to frame 17/19/4406.
sir, as you sit here today, independent of what you've seen on the videotape, do you have a recollection of Mr. Wilson being there?
I know that he was in the area, but I don't know how closely he was watching,
From your own independent recollection?
from my independent recollections.
Were you paying attention to who was around you at the time that this transaction occurred?
No.
Mr. Fairtlow, maybe we can continue. Maybe we can just stop for one moment. We're at 17:42:53:22. Is that correct, Mr. Fung?
Yes.
And this is a shot of what happening?
This is a shot of Criminals Mazzola and myself leaving the Rockingham address.
Okay. You can continue forward. Let's just stop for a moment. Mr. Fung, do you have an independent recollection as you sit here today of placing the item that you received from Detective Van Adder, the envelope, into the plastic bag?
Not an independent recollection, no.
Okay. And when you looked at the scene of Andrea Mazzola taking the plastic bag out of the location, was there anything that you collected between 5 o'clock and when you left with Andrea Mazzola that could have accounted for the heft in that bag, other than the envelope?
Possibly. But it's most likely that the envelope was in that bag.
Okay. Now let's continue.
Oral.
Did you collect anything between 5 o'clock and the time that Ms. Mazzola and yourself left with the plastic bag that was the same approximate size and dimension of the analyzed envelope 163?
Was there
The
anything?
one in front of you?
Was there anything else that we collected that was this size?
Yes.
Is that what you're asking? No.
And did you have any other envelopes that were that size?
No.
Okay. Let's continue. Your Honor, perhaps, I think we've covered the scenes that I want to cover at this time. Mr. Fairwell, it's fine.
All right, Mr. Goldberg?
So, sir, based upon your independent recollection and also viewing the videotapes, is the first event that occurred with respect to the vial, Detective Van Adder arriving with what appears to be the analyzed evidence envelope?
Yes.
And did you then see a shot of yourself in the foyer area holding two items?
Yes.
And those two items were, again?
The two items were an envelope that is consistent with the gray envelope in People's
163H.
163H and a plastic bag.
And that was, in fact, the envelope that you received from Detective Van Adder?
Yes.
And the plastic bag was the one that eventually Ms. Mazzola was carrying?
Yes.
And then the third item in the sequence of events is Andrea Mazzola carrying the black plastic bag out of the location,
Yes.
and you putting it into the crime scene truck.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm finished with that tape. Sir, I was asking you about independent recollection of placing the item in the bag, and you said that you don't have an independent recollection of that. What do you mean by that?
By independent recollection, I don't have a mental picture from memory of myself placing the envelope in the plastic bag.
So when you're thinking about the events of the 13th and you're trying to conjure up an image, think of an image of what was happening at and around the time that you received the envelope. Do you see an image of yourself doing that?
Not from my memory, no.
Okay. But do you know that that's what you did?
Yes.
And how do you know that?
From viewing the videotape and piecing together memory that I do remember, that's what I have concluded that I did.
Okay. Did you also look at the time?
Speculation, I think the tapes and what the witness says speak for itself.
Oral.
Thank you. Now, sir, we were talking before we broke on Friday about what collection means as a criminalist, and you said that it meant something in addition to physically picking items up. Is that correct?
Yes.
And did that include the numbering and the measuring phase?
Yes.
All right. And I asked you whether, in your mind, you participated, or whether you did participate in the collection of all of the items on June the 13th, all the biological evidence. And what was your answer?
The answer was yes.
Now, when you were working with Andrea Mazzola on the 13th, I think you testified that you were working as a team. What do you mean by that?
In working as a team, two people are working towards one goal. And we were working towards collecting and documenting the evidence that was at those scenes.
All right. Now, when you testified at the grand jury, did you have any opportunity to prepare by talking with Marcia Clark before you testified?
No,
Have you ever testified at a grand jury before?
no,
Did you have an opportunity to prepare on your own by reviewing your own notes in order to refresh your recollection before you testified?
I looked at them briefly.
Did you have any conversation with Ms. Clark before you actually went into the grand jury room?
We had a brief conversation as to the basic testimony I would be covering, the topics we would be covering, but it was nothing very detailed.
Well, can you give us a better idea of what was said?
She said, she introduced herself and I introduced myself. She said something to the effect, "You're the criminalist who did the collection?" And I said yes, and there wasn't much more than that, if
Okay.
any.
And you've testified in court on numerous prior occasions.
Yes,
Do you usually have an opportunity to sit down and go over your testimony in advance and know the kinds of questions you're going to be asked and so on,
usually,
and to review your notes?
yes.
Right. Now, I want to ask you some questions about your testimony at the grand jury, sir. And counsel, I'm going to be looking at page 390 of the grand jury transcript. Page 389 and 9 on page 390. Sir, you have since had an opportunity to go over your grand jury transcript testimony.
Yes,
Okay, and at the grand jury, did you give the following answers to the following questions, starting on page 389, line 23? Question, with respect to the blood on the car shown in photograph A of Peoples 5, as well as B, and the blood behind the Ford Bronco shown with number 4 in the photograph, C, and the blood shown in photograph F on this exhibit, and in photograph, that same drop of blood shown in photograph D of Peoples 2. In fact, all of the blood recovered as shown on the markers in Peoples 2, in G and F, as well as 5 in photograph G and H. Did you recover all of those from the scene for further analysis? Answer, the ones labeled with the numbers, yes, I did. Question, how did you recover them? Answer, I recovered them in the manner described before, where I would wet a cloth swatch or several cloth swatches if needed, apply it to the red stain, and then let the stain transfer onto the cloth swatch. Do you remember giving those answers to those questions?
yes,
And when the question was asked, and how did you recover them? Did you believe the questioner wanted to know how they were recovered or who did it?
I believe the questioner wanted to know how it was done.
Were
Not who
you
did it.
trying to mislead anyone when you talked about in the first person, I did it?
No.
Your Honor, I'd next like to read a reference from the same transcript at page 399.
Starting at what line?
Starting line 5 through line 12. And Your Honor might want to take a look at that because that's going to bring us to another issue, if the court has the transcript.
All right, let's approach with the court reporter, please.
Okay. Sir, at the grand jury hearing, were you asked a question as to the collection of stain number 14 in the master bathroom, rather? And did you say that we collected that stain in the master bathroom?
Yes.
And when you said we collected it, who was this other person that you were referring to?
I was referring to Criminalist Mazzola.
And was there a follow-up question of who is the other person?
No.
Okay. And next, I'd like to look at the grand jury transcript, page 408, at lines 9 through 13, Your Honor. Thank you. Sir, were you asked the following question, or did you give the following answer? Was the blood between the two victims analyzed, either the blood on the floor, on the ground between the two victims analyzed, or collected for analysis? Answer: we did collect or try to collect blood, that blood, and it was analyzed, yes. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And when you said we, who were you referring to?
I was referring to Criminalist Mazzola and myself.
And was a follow-up question as to who is the other person asked?
No.
Now, did it appear to you, based on the questions you were being asked at the grand jury, that the questioner was interested in who did what or what was done?
Sustained.
What did it appear to you that the questioner was interested in when you were being questioned about
Sustained.
what was collected?
Sustained. Calls for speculation. Counsel.
May we approach on that, Your Honor?
No, proceed.
Okay.
Proceed.
Were you ever trying to mislead anyone at the grand jury?
No.
And when you went through the transcript, did you come up with an estimate as to approximately how many minutes you were questioned about the collection process at Rockingham in terms of what was collected and how it was collected?
A rough estimation of between 5 to 10 minutes.
It wasn't that extensive?
No.
And what about the collection process at Bundy, approximately?
5 to 10 minutes again.
And in your review of the transcript, were you ever asked specifically who, the question who did this or who did that in terms of collecting evidence at Bundy
No, not specifically.
or Rockingham?
No.
Now, I'd like next to refer to the preliminary hearing transcript at page 40. At lines 5 through 10. Were you asked the following questions and did you give the following answers? Question: did you prepare a report documenting what item numbers 1 through 8 are in this case? Answer: yes, I did. Question: did you collect them, sir? Answer: I did, along with my assistant, Criminalist Mazzola. Did you give those answers to that question?
Yes.
Were you making any effort to conceal Criminalist Mazzola's participation in the collection in this case?
No.
Did you have any hesitation to say that you collected them along with criminalist Mazzola at the preliminary hearing?
No.
And I'd like next to look at pages 43 through 44. Lines 27 on page 43 through line 3 on page 44. '27 on 43 through line 3 on page 44.
Proceed. Proceed.
Question, and were all of those items packaged by yourself bearing the DR number of this case? Answer, yes. I may have had some assistance from criminalist Mazzola with some of the items. Do you recall giving that answer to that question?
Yes.
And by the way, when we're talking about DR number being assigned, that is what?
That is the divisional record number that is assigned to each case. Each case has its own DR number.
And those were assigned in the field or in the laboratory?
The detective obtains those, and he passes the DR number on to us.
Now, when you were answering this question about having assistance from criminalist Mazzola in the packaging with the DR numbers, did you have any hesitation in disclosing that she assisted you in that process?
No.
I'd next like to refer to what we've been terming the Griffin hearing, which happened on August the 22nd of last year at page 52, excuse me, page 538.
All right, I'd object to this. This is not,
All right, let me see counsel at the sidebar with the transcript.
Sir, did you give the following responses to the following questions? Question, and so she would be collecting some of those blood stains. I withdraw that question. As you sit here today, do you have a vivid memory as to which of the 60 or so items that you collected at Bundy she collected in your presence, as opposed to those which were collected outside your presence? Answer, I do remember that the blood stains leading from where the victims were along the escape route, as it has been referred to in the past, is I was there with her personally supervising her. Question for each and every one of those. Answer, I believe so. Yes. Question, were there other blood stains, however, that she collected at the scene which you personally did not supervise? Answer, yes. And as you sit here today, do you know which ones those were? Not specifically, no. Do you remember those answers to those questions?
Yes.
Okay. Now, were you indicating when you said, I believe so, yes, that you supervised her on the trail items, that you were positive?
When I said I believe so, that meant that I wasn't 100% sure.
And you have since testified that you did not observe her on stain 52.
That's correct.
And how did you come to that conclusion after your conversation with Andrea Mazzola, where you went through the checklist, or before?
I came to that conclusion after I spoke with Criminalist Mazzola.
Were you trying to mislead anyone at the Griffin hearing about what you observed and what you didn't observe in terms of what Ms. Mazzola did?
No.
Now, in this case, you also filled out property reports documenting the evidence that was collected on June the 13th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to mark as people's next in order. I believe it's 169,
187.
187. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. A copy of a property report containing items 1 through 10.
All right, and how many pages is this document?
It's 3 pages.
All right. Have you shown that to Mr. Scheck?
Excuse me, it actually contains 1 through 14 and then 17.
All right, proceed.
And I have another report that I'd like to mark as People's 188. And it contains items 35 through 37.
How many pages?
It's also 3 pages.
All right, 188.
Excuse me, it's 5 pages.
5 pages. Proceed.
Thank you. So were the property reports that you generated in this case created before June the 16th?
Yes.
And that was before your testimony at the grand jury?
Yes.
I'd like to direct your attention to the report that we've now marked as 187 for identification. Your Honor, I just put a 187 up on the top of the report and circled it.
All right.
And specifically page 3 of that report.
One, please.
Sir, on this report, did you write that items 1 through 11 were collected by criminalists Mazzola and Fung on 6/14/94 at 360 North Rockingham?
Yes, I did.
And did you subsequently write another document to change the date to 6/13?
Yes.
Right. And when you wrote this document, did you have any hesitation to list criminalist Mazzola as being one of the people that collected the items with you?
No.
I'd now like to direct your attention to the next exhibit that we've marked, People's 188, the fourth page. And on this report, sir, is this another one of your property reports?
Yes, it is.
And this was generated before the grand jury?
Before I testified before that, yes.
And did that say that items 35 through 57 were collected by criminalists Mazzola and Fung on 6/13 at 875 South Bundy?
Yes.
And did you have any hesitation whatsoever to list criminalist Mazzola as having participated in the collection of those items?
No, I did not.
All right, thank you. So before you testified at the grand jury, as far as you were concerned, was it a matter of public record in these property reports that criminalist Mazzola and yourself collected the items on June the 13th?
Sustained.
Did you know that these reports were in existence
Yes,
at
I
the time
did.
that you testified at the grand jury?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd now like to mark another exhibit. And it appears to be a vehicle search checklist dated 6/12. And it's L21 through L31 as People's
189.
189.
How many pages, Mr. Goldberg?
Seven pages.
Thank you. I'm only going to ask him about one page of this report. All right. Proceed. You may.
Before I put it on the elbow. Sir, can you just briefly look at this exhibit and tell us what that is?
This is the vehicle search checklist that we filled out in conjunction with doing the Bronco search.
Sir, this says 6/12. What date was this filled out on?
This was filled out on 6/13.
And who did that?
Criminals Mazzola filled out this form.
When on the 13th was that filled out?
This was filled out very shortly after we arrived at the Rockingham scene.
And in the, well, I'm having trouble seeing it, but on the OIC box, maybe you can, oh, I see, okay. maybe we can zoom in on that. The OIC box, it says Mazzola, and it has the date 6/13 over to the right.
Yes, it does.
And then under that, it actually says assistant's name, D. Fung.
Yes.
Now, how much after you arrived at Rockingham was this document actually filled out?
Not more than 5 to 10 minutes.
Did you have any conversation with Ms. Mazzola about who to put in the OIC section or who to put in the assistant's name section?
No, not on this form.
Right. And when did you first become aware that she was the OIC as listed on this form and that you were the assistant? Listed as the assistant.
When I was reviewing the notes at some later time, I looked at that and noticed it then.
Did you ever make any effort to change that?
No,
Did it bother you that Andrea Mazzola was listed in the OIC position?
no,
Did it ever occur to you to ask Andrea Mazzola to write up a new form to switch the names, to put yourself in the OIC position and switch her to assistant?
no.
And did you know that this document was in existence when you testified at the grand jury?
Yes, I did.
Now, sir, have you noticed in your experience as a criminalist, when someone asks you the question, did you collect a particular item of evidence, in a case where you were working with a criminalist one who may have done the actual physical picking up, have you noticed any particular habit that you have? I haven't finished.
Leading,
Hold on.
argumentative.
Not yet.
Do you have any habit with respect to how you answer that question?
Oh, well, you can answer the question.
Yes, in reviewing some of my testimony, I tend to use the word I in that situation. In an example, well, there's many examples that you've given today, and it's like an engineer who says, I built a bridge, or a businessman who says, I wrote a report, when he may actually have many other people working under him, helping him finish his job.
Did you have the opportunity to review portions of your trial transcript in this case and see yourself following that practice?
What's the objection?
The objection
Legal
is,
basis,
the basis is, I believe it's
legal ground. 2 words.
leading, compound, and assumes facts not in evidence.
Sustained, just bleeding.
Did you have an opportunity to review your portions of your trial transcript?
Yes,
And were there instances in the trial transcript where you testified as if you had done the physical collection when you didn't?
Sustained, rephrase the question.
Did you find any instances of your answering questions in conformity with the habit that you just described to us?
yes.
All right. Your Honor, I'd like to direct counsel's attention to page 21564 of the trial transcript.
Do you have that? What line, counsel?
Excuse me one moment. Excuse me, it was 21575 of the trial transcript. some pages appear to be missing out of my trial transcript, Your Honor. May I just have one moment?
Certainly.
Your Honor, I'll come back to this after lunch when I have an opportunity to find the missing pages.
Proceed.
Sir, after you were cross-examined by Mr. Scheck about this issue of the grand jury transcript and the issue of whether or not you wanted to conceal the existence of Andrea Mazzola, do you remember that?
Yes.
Were you trying to be careful to specify who physically collected what?
Yes.
And during the cross-examination, did you notice that you were still at times testifying in conformity with your habit of using the term I or making it sound?
Sustained.
Did you notice that even after then you were testifying at times in conformity with your habit?
Yes.
Objection. Leading. Move to
Sustained.
strike.
Stricken. Jurors to disregard.
Your Honor, I'd like to look at page 22026.
What line, counsel?
Okay, it's lines 23 through 25. Twenty-three through 25.
Proceed.
Do you recall giving the following answer to the following question? Question, Mr. Fung, did you ever collect a pager in the caged-in area? Answer, yes. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay, were you trying to suggest that you personally picked up that item?
No.
And had you earlier testified on direct that Andrea Mazzola had picked it up?
Yes.
Right. I'd like to next look at 21-9-16.
What line, counsel?
It's lines 1 through lines 26. Through 26, line 1 through line 26, 21-9-16.
Proceed.
Thank you. Question. Now, did you, in terms of how you and Ms. Mazzolo approached this, did you perform any what is known as phenolphthalein tests on those blood drops? Mr. Scheck, did you? Answer, yes. And was that one of the first things that you did? Answer, it was one of the things that we did. Question, all right. Then in terms of approaching these red stains, there is one that I think is item number 1, the one on the door, is that correct? Answer, yes. Question, and before you swatched that stain, you did a presumptive test on it? Answer, yes. Question, all right. And before you took a picture of that stain, you did a presumptive test on it? Answer, I'm not sure which order that occurred in. Do you recall that line of questioning and those answers?
Yes.
And did you, in fact, perform a presumptive test on it physically?
I don't recall if I personally performed it or if Criminalist Mazzola performed it.
Did you physically swatch it?
I don't recall if I did or not.
Okay. And did you personally take a photograph, or did someone else do that?
Somebody else took the photograph.
When you answered the question about the picture, were you trying to lead Mr. Scheck to believe that you personally took the photograph?
No.
And why was it that you testified in this fashion?
I was trying to answer his question as to what was done, not who did what.
Okay. And next, I'd like to refer to one last portion of the transcript at 22-331, lines 15 through 25. While they're looking for it. 22-331, lines 15 through 25.
Mr. Goldberg? Agreed?
Yeah, I don't see it. The other one pertains to what I'm about to read.
Proceed.
Okay. Sir, did you give the following answer to the following questions? On June 13th, you collected 112, which is 47, right? Answer.
I would ask you to take a look at the previous questions. I thought he was going to do it.
Thought you agreed to do that.
Oh, I didn't know that the court. Okay, I'll read it. On lines 1 through lines 26, did you give the following answers to the following questions? Well, it starts with an answer, but to please Mr. Scheck, we'll read that. Okay, generally, that we do our crime scene or our collection in order, but not a steadfast rule, though, but generally we do. Question. Well, you certainly would want to keep the photo ID numbers in order here because that's what you're using to keep track of the samples. Answer. In order, in what regard? Question. In order of collection. Answer. What kept the samples in order was that we collected each sample. We collect them one at a time and label the photo ID number into the coin envelope and place the sample that we have just collected that's been labeled in that envelope. That's what keeps track of the sample. Question. On June the 13th, you collected 112, which is 47, right? Answer. Yes. Then you did 113, which is 48. Answer. Yes. Question. Then you did 114, photo number 114, which is sample 49. Answer. Yes. Then you got sample 50, just near the back rear gate. Answer, yes. Do you remember those questions, giving those answers to those questions?
Yes.
And sir, were you trying to mislead Mr. Scheck into believing that you had physically collected those items?
No.
And had you already testified that, in fact, Andrea Mazzola did the physical swatching on most of those items?
Yes.
Now, sir, how difficult is collecting a stain?
Collecting a stain is not very difficult. The actual swatching of a stain is not very difficult at all.
All right. And is this something that, in your experience, detectives sometimes do?
Yes.
Is this something that a layperson could be trained to do?
In a matter of minutes.
Have you seen crime scene technicians do this who are not criminalists?
Yes.
Now, when you testified at the grand jury about you swatching the stains, was that consistent with this habit that you've described to us?
Sustained.
Right. Why did you testify that way, sir?
I was answering the questions as to what was happening, not who. I didn't think the topic was who did what.
Now, I'd like to ask you a couple questions on the subject of training and your training in the area of collecting a blood stain. Were you trained in how to collect a blood stain for the purposes of conventional serology as opposed to DNA analysis?
At the time I was trained, it was for conventional serological blood and biological.
Was your first
Stain.
actual training in collecting a blood sample at the lab at LAPD, or was it in school or somewhere else?
The first training occurred in school, in my coursework.
Okay. Did they actually have you physically collecting stains at mock crime scenes? Or how did they do it?
I don't recall at this time whether we actually had to collect stains or not, but it was covered in the coursework.
Did you also have some more training in how to collect stains once you joined the lab?
Yes.
Now, after the advent of DNA, the use of DNA technology in criminal cases, did the physical mechanics of how you collect a stain change?
No.
All right. And when you said you received some additional training after the advent of DNA, what was the nature of this additional training?
The nature was describing to us how large a sample was needed to perform DNA testing. And that was back in the late 80s, around 88, 89.
So the training went mostly to sample size?
Yes.
Now, when you saw Andrea Mazzola collecting stains at the crime scene at Rockingham and Bundy, can you describe the manner in which she would collect them in terms of her technique?
Criminalist Mazzola was very deliberate in her collection. She was single-minded in her tasks, and she was...
I would object to this as being conclusory. If you want to ask him about specific stains that he observed.
All right, ask another question.
Well, did she appear to be concentrated on her task when she collected all the stains at Bundy?
Sustained. It's leading.
How did she appear when she was collecting the stains at Bundy in terms of the way that she was approaching her task?
It's going through the operations of someone else's mind.
He can describe her conduct as he observed it.
She was very methodical.
And did she appear to be using, or was she using the technique that is used in the Los Angeles Police Department for the purposes of collecting biological stains
Yes.
and doing it properly?
Yes.
Now, going back to the Bundy location, you were asked about a videotape that depicted an item that was being passed between yourself and criminalist Mazzola.
Yes.
And have you had an opportunity to look at that videotape now several times?
Yes.
Perhaps we can see it's Defense Exhibit 1082, the clip of the tape. Sir, if you look closely at that tape, do you appear to be holding a pen in one hand?
Well, yes.
All right, I was about to try to get the counter number since that's part of our record. All right, we're looking at the segment that's at 1334 approximately. Proceed.
Sir, and is that item the eyeglass envelope as was suggested by the defense?
In Criminalist Mazzola's hand right here?
Yes.
No, it's not.
And when I say the eyeglass envelope, I mean the eyeglass envelope without any packaging on it. Is that what you meant?
It's not the envelope itself, no.
Does the eyeglass envelope, if I may approach the witness, it's Peoples 32 for identification, have some blood stains on it?
Yes, it does.
And do you see any blood stains on the item that's depicted in the defense exhibit 1082?
I can't make any out.
All right. When you recovered the eyeglass envelope, was it relatively crisp as the item in 1082, or did it look somewhat as it does now?
Objection. Can you describe description of crisp?
Sustained.
What did
Further
it look
question?
like when it was recovered from the crime scene?
The envelope appeared pretty much the way it appears as it does now.
And it already had blood on it at the time that it was collected?
Yes.
Now, sir, in this particular photograph, are you wearing gloves?
No, I'm not.
Do you have any practice that you follow in terms of when you wear gloves and when you don't wear gloves at a crime scene?
I personally wear gloves only when necessary, and that's when I am about to touch an item of evidence or I'm going into a very, very bloody scene.
You don't wear
Portion of
gloves.
the scene.
Why don't you wear gloves 100% of the time when you're at the crime scene?
For me, when I am not wearing gloves, it makes me that much more conscious not to touch things for prints. And I tend to be very careful when I'm wearing gloves, or at least when I'm in my thought process, when I'm wearing gloves, I would be more likely to touch something because I would think that the gloves would protect the item from prints.
Now, in arriving at that conclusion as to when gloves should and should not be worn at a crime scene, as a criminalist, did you consider the opinion of Barry Fisher on that issue?
Yes.
And that was the same text that was cited from earlier during cross-examination?
Yes.
I'd like to cite from page 21 of Mr. Fisher's text at, that's the third edition. Maybe I can approach the witness.
Want to show that to Mr. Scheck, please?
I think he has. There's a similar quote in the fifth edition to it. Maybe I can lend counsel my third edition. Sir, you've already looked at Mr. Fisher's quotation as to the wearing of gloves. Is that correct, before today?
Yes.
Okay, and does Mr. Fisher say the wearing of gloves should not be permitted on the crime scene? There is always a risk that the wearer will become careless and touch objects that bear the criminal's fingerprints, thereby destroying or wiping them out. Was that his view?
That's, yes,
And is that your reason for not wearing them 100% of the time?
yes.
I'll mark the page as a People's Exhibit, if I might.
All right, People's next in order would be Defendant's 190, excuse me, People's 190.
And that's page 21.
Third edition. Third edition.
Yes, Your Honor. Now, sir, is blood at a crime scene considered to be a contaminant with respect to the health of the criminalist?
With respect to the health of the criminals, yes.
Why is that?
The blood could have infectious diseases in it, and it could be transmitted to the criminals.
Would you touch an item that had visible blood on it, sir, with your bare hands at a crime scene?
I would try very hard not to.
And would criminalist Mazzola have handed you an item that had blood on it?
No.
Sustained. The answer is stricken. Juries to disregard. Rephrase the question.
Now, sir, under the practices of the crime lab and using the standard procedures that you use at a scene, would a criminalist at the Los Angeles Police Department hand to another criminalist an item with someone's blood on it?
Overruled.
Now, sir, directing your attention back to the exhibit, the eyeglasses in front of you, what is the brown paper bag that's contained in that exhibit?
The brown paper bag is what the white envelope was packaged into.
In looking at the brown paper bag, were you able to see what type of a bag that was?
It was a number 4 size bag.
And the Los Angeles Police Department has various assortments of bags.
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd like to mark as People's next exhibit what appears to be it's a Townsend number 4 brown paper bag.
Yes. Go ahead. You may.
So directing your attention to what we just marked, I think it's 192, Your Honor.
191.
191. I'll write
Townsend
a
number 4 bag.
I'll write a 191 on the rear of the bag. 191 for identification. What is that?
This is a brown paper bag, size number 4.
And is that the same type of bag into which the eyeglasses were placed?
Yes.
Okay. Is that consistent, if we can see Defense 1082 again?
It seems to me if it's being offered as I'm objecting on the grounds that I take it this is being offered as,
Is that a foundational objection?
yes,
Right.
exemplary evidence, and I think
see
that
the-
the actual exhibit is there.
Thank you. All right, objections overruled.
If I could just have a couple more questions before the noon recess. It won't take that long.
Two.
Okay. Sir, is the item that's depicted in Defense 1082 consistent with the item that we've just marked, the paper bag, the Townsend number 4?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you. I think we can wrap it up now, Your Honor.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our recess for the morning session. Please remember all of my admonitions to you. Do not discuss the case amongst yourselves. Don't form any opinions about the case. Do not conduct any deliberations till the matter has been submitted to you. Do not allow anybody to communicate with you with regard to the case. We'll stand in recess until 1 o'clock. All right, let me see counsel at the sidebar with the court reporter. Let's have the jury, please. Goldberg. Good afternoon again, Mr. Fung.
Good afternoon.
You're reminded, sir, you are still under oath. And Mr. Goldberg, you may continue with your redirect examination.
Good afternoon, Mr. Fung.
Good afternoon.
Ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Fung, when we left off, we were talking about defense tape 1082 that shows Andrea Mazzola passing an item to you. As you sit here now, do you have an independent recollection of that incident?
No.
All right. And when you looked at the tape 1082, does it appear to you that the item is a bag that contains something or does not contain something?
The object does not appear to have any bulk to it. It appears to be a flat object.
But are you certain, based upon your practice at a crime scene, that you would not have taken the envelope
Let me finish the question.
had it not been in a package, had it simply been in the condition that you saw it in court with the blood stains, with your bare hands?
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
Sir, would you have done that? Would you have taken that eyeglass envelope with your bare hands?
Objection. Calls for speculation.
Sustained. Rephrase the question.
Using your practice, your customary practice at crime scenes, would you have grabbed that item, the eyeglass envelope, with your bare hands?
No.
And are you certain of that?
Absolutely.
Now, at one point you testified that you believed that the coroners had left the location at the time that was depicted in that scene on that defense tape. Do you recall that?
Yes.
What made you think that the coroners had left?
In my experience, coroner's personnel leave very soon after moving the bodies and placing them in their vans. And I do not recall having seen any coroner's personnel after I had seen them put the bodies in the vans that day. I just didn't recall seeing them.
Had you waited to commence your collection process until after the bodies had been removed from the location?
Yes.
And by that I mean put in the van.
Yes.
All right. And based upon your experience in processing crime scenes, can you think of any reason why the coroner would remain, the coroner's representatives would remain?
Sustained. Calls for speculation.
Well, it also goes to his state of mind, Your Honor.
Calls for speculation.
At the crime scenes that you've been in the past, are there reasons, are there things that the coroners have to do at the crime scene after they take the bodies and put them in the coroner's vehicle?
Sometimes they have to get information from the detective, but I haven't seen that happen very often.
Okay, so you've processed about 500 crime scenes, you said?
Yes.
And in your experience, does the coroner almost always leave as soon as the bodies are in the vehicle?
Very soon after, yes.
Now, were you paying attention when you were involved in the collection process, and by that I'm including numbering and measuring the various items, were you paying attention to activities that other people were engaged in around you?
No, I was concerned with doing my job.
When you were involved in the collection process, were you trying to keep track of where the coroner's representatives were, or if they were even there?
No.
To this day, do you have any independent recollection of them being there?
No independent recollection, no.
And do you have any reason to believe that they were there other than the one clip of videotape that you saw with what appears to be the pant leg of one of the coroner's representatives in it?
No. Only the videotape shows that they're there.
Okay. Now, during the early portion of the collection process, did you say that you brought the glove from that had been collected at the Rockingham location in its bag into the caged-off area?
Yes.
And for what purpose did you do that?
Detective Lang had requested to see the Rockingham glove.
Do you recall, from your own independent recollection, whether or not you opened the bag for sure or not?
I don't recall if I opened the bag or not.
Have you ever had any conversation with Detective Lang about that incident, to your recollection? I mean, after it happened.
Yes, we have talked about it, but I don't recall exactly what we discussed.
Do you know or happen to remember whether Detective Lang said that the bag was closed at the time?
Objection. Sustained.
Limited for his state of mind?
Sustained.
Now, if we were to assume hypothetically that you brought the bag into the caged-off area and opened it, what kind of danger, if any, would be posed in terms of contamination of the evidence?
Just by merely opening the bag,
Yes.
something from me, like my hair or something, could fall into the bag.
What about cross-contamination with the crime scene? I'm talking about that as a danger.
As long as I left the glove in the bag and was very careful opening the bag, I wouldn't see any real possibility of any cross-contamination.
At the time that you brought that glove to the location that that we've described as this caged-off area, did you believe that there was some legitimate investigatory reason for doing so?
Yes.
Did Detective Lang tell you what it was?
Objection.
So he can say yes or no without saying what was said.
He did give some indication as to why he wanted it there, yes.
Well, that was my next question, and it's not being introduced for the truth of the matter asserted, but the effect on this witness's state of mind.
Your Honor, I actually tried to elicit this.
What? Here.
No.
When you first saw the Rockingham glove at the Rockingham location, did you notice any hair on it at that time?
At
At
the
Rockingham,
Rockingham?
yes.
The Rockingham glove? I believe I did see some forms of either fibers or hair at that time.
And did you do anything to remove it at that time?
No.
Now, you were also asked some questions regarding a videotape showing Ms. Mazzola collecting some items at the crime scene. You remember that? The glove and the cap, the
Yes.
glove and the cap. And perhaps we could take a look at that. It's 1083. Did we see the first portion of that? Maybe we can stop for a second. Can we just back up for just a few frames? Yeah, there. Now, Mr. Fung, what is Ms. Mazzola doing in this frame?
Ms. Mazzola is placing the knit cap in a paper bag.
And does it,
It's 1351-41-12.
yeah, does it appear to you that she's holding it from a corner of the cap without getting her much of her hand on the item?
She's holding it at the tip, yes.
And why is that done?
She's holding it so that she comes into a very small area of contact.
And then she simply places it in the bag?
Yes.
And is it generally necessary to go through 4 years of forensic science training to learn this technique?
No.
All right, let's continue with the tape. Maybe we can just back up for a second just to get the point just before she dropped it in the bag. And similarly, how is Ms. Mazzola handling the glove in this particular frame?
She's
1352-23, and I can't read the last two. Is it 25?
She's holding a very small portion of the glove and placing it into the paper bag.
And that's done for the same reason?
Yes.
And is it again necessary to have 4 years of forensic science training to figure this technique out?
No.
All right. Now, when she was lifting up this item, based upon your recollections of the crime scene itself, which area is she removing the glove from?
Based on my recollection, she's removing it from the dirt area.
And is that where the glove was when you first saw it?
Yes.
All right, we can continue with this and just finish it. That's fine. Thank you. Now, sir, did you have an opportunity to take a careful look at the defense video that depicts what appears to be a dark spot in the area of the white blanket that was on the ground.
Characterization.
Sustain, rephrase the question.
That appears to be some sort of a dark area on the,
Still objection. Characterization.
what?
Yes.
Right. And did you also have the opportunity to view a tape that was created by the people showing that same footage and intersplicing still photography?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this, I don't know if we've already marked that, we as a court exhibit.
I don't believe so.
I'd like to mark that exhibit as our next in order. People's 192.
This is Mr. Goldberg. This is a minute and a half. Could we look at it? Because I don't think we saw it.
All right, just turn the monitor, Ms. Clark. Thank you. The opportunity to review that again. All right, proceed. Thank you, counsel.
Can we see? It's People's
Proceed.
192. Now, sir, based upon the photographs, the still photography, and the videography that was done at the crime scene as displayed in this exhibit, and your own independent recollections, was that glove on the white blanket?
Object to the form of this question. If he's being asked a question as an independent witness, I think there's no foundation laid for his competency with respect to photography. He's being asked about his independent recollection. I have no objection. So I think the question is compound. I think I'm stating legal grounds.
What?
Rephrase the question.
Sir, based upon viewing the videotapes, was the glove, the ones that we just showed, was the glove on the white blanket?
Based on the video tape and the pictures, and not from my memory,
Yeah.
just from the videotapes, it did not appear to be on a blanket.
Then I will move to strike.
Okay, and now if you add your memory to the equation, was it on the blanket?
No.
Can you just see that? I just want to see a portion of this again, where he's laying down the cards at the beginning. Hey, now, sir, what are you doing right there in that picture? We don't have a frame number, but
I am placing the identification tag for the hat on the walkway area.
okay, so that is for the hat.
Yes.
What photo ID number is on the card that's in your hand on this photograph?
If he's asking, is that question directed to what he can read on the video?
No, it's not directed to what he can read. It's from your independent recollection. Can you tell, and your notes? Can you tell us?
Referring to his notes.
What? Yes, from your notes. Can you tell us that, sir?
From my notes, referring to my notes, that would be 103.
Okay, and that's the photo ID number for what?
That would be the photo ID for the hat in item number 38.
Okay. Now, where are you placing this card down? Is it on? Where does it actually land?
It's very close to the yellow post on the walkway area.
Your Honor, perhaps for the record, I could just describe this photograph since we don't have a counter on it. It's a photograph that appears to depict the.
Maybe we could just print it out. I think that's the
Okay.
best way to do it, rather than
That's
having
fine.
this.
I agree. Thank you. All right, Mr. Fairlawn, do we have that captured? Yes, Your Honor. All right, proceed.
Okay, sir, now I would like to show you, well, when you're putting this card down, the one that we've just, on the picture that we just printed out, where is that in relationship to the darkened area that's in question,
That would be west of the
To-
darkened area,
which is towards,
towards the street. or towards the camera.
Towards the camera, okay. All right, that's fine. Sir, I'd now like to show you a couple still photographs. First, let's look at People's 56H for identification. Okay, what does that show, sir?
That depicts the glove and the photo ID card number 102.
This is 56H. And is that where you put down the card for the glove?
Yes.
All right, now let's take a look at People's 192A. Okay, I'd like to mark as People's next in order 193, which is also a photograph of this same general area. It's going to take a second to pull this up.
Slide, please.
Isn't that 56? Is this, okay, and what is that?
It's the same.
This is a similar photograph to 56H. Sir,
Yes.
the one that we saw just before this.
Yes.
And what is it that's in the foreground just before the card 102?
There appears to be a bloody area with leaves present.
Okay, now let's see People's 179. Now, sir, do you see that same leafy area that we just saw in photograph 193 in this photograph, 179?
Yes.
And where is that?
If you look at the identification card, 102, and you go down from it, it's that area there.
Okay.
Before, oh, go ahead.
Okay, fine. Now, on this particular photograph, is the card that you were laying down in the video present?
No.
So this was taken before you laid that card down?
Yes.
And do you know when, in reference to laying the card down, the still photography was done of this area?
The photographer was taking the photographs as I was putting the cards down.
And could you see that in one of the videos?
Yes.
All right, I just need one more photograph. Perhaps we could, for the record, just have him circle the area that he's referring to, the leafy area, and print that out.
Yes. point maker problems here?
Yes, Your Honor, we were able to achieve a black color, but no other. If you notice the dot,
Yes.
top part of the screen.
Are you having maneuvering problems here?
Can we put an arrow on it instead?
Yes. Very dark.
Can you make an up arrow? That would be better. Okay, more to your left. Up. More there.
It's captured.
Proceed.
Okay. Now, can we now see Peoples 180 for identification? Oh, hold on, I just want to ask one more question while 179 is on here. On 179, when would this be chronologically with respect to the video?
This would be before the segment of the video was.
Okay, and you know that why?
I know that because the card for 103 is not placed down yet.
And that's what you were doing in the video?
Yes.
And now can we see Peoples 180 for identification? We're going to have to use the Elmo. The barcodes aren't working.
Slide, please. One, please.
Okay, directing your attention, sir, to Peoples 180. Do you see the card number 10? Well, I could see it a few seconds ago. Okay. Do you see the card for number 103?
Yes.
And where is that?
There's 3 cards present, and it's the one to the very right.
And the leafy clump, is that still in the same location that it was in the previous photograph, 179?
Yes.
And the glove?
Yes.
So this would represent a photo that was taken shortly after the videotape?
Sustained.
When was this photograph taken, sir?
This would be after the videotape was taken.
All right. So if we could just skip, can we skip back between 179 and 180, or is that too much?
Two, please.
Okay, so 179 is before, Mr. Funk?
Yes.
And now let's skip back to 180.
One, please.
And 180 is after.
Yes.
And the glove is in the same location in both photos.
Yes.
And so is the leafy clump.
Yes.
Thank you.
Five, please.
Now, when you got to the location at Bundy, did you know exactly what had happened in terms of any alteration of the location before you arrived?
No.
And when you filled out the crime scene identification checklist form, That's Defense 1081, if I might approach the witness for just one moment, and then I put it on the...
Unless it's clear
Hold
that
on. What's the ground?
ground is that he's asking...
Legal
he said-
ground, there are two,
Legal grounds is that the question is vague. He said "you." Is he using that in the singular or the
sustain,
plural?
phrase the question.
Okay. May I approach the witness, just show him the
You may.
crime scene identification checklist? Sir, showing you this item, do you recognize that?
Yes,
And is that part of the crime scene identification checklist?
yes.
Now, on that document, there's a question mark in the area that says, has the crime scene been altered? Did you see that?
Yes.
One, please.
Now, did you put that question mark there, or did Ms. Mazzola?
Ms. Mazzola did.
Did you know whether the crime scene had been altered before you arrived?
I assumed it had because the body was of Nicole Brown Simpson was on the plastic when I walked up to the scene.
Okay, and you assume that when she was murdered, it wasn't on that coroner's plastic
Yes.
bag. Now, is it your job as a criminalist to start interviewing witnesses for the purposes of determining what the crime scene was like when they arrived?
No.
Whose job is that?
That is the investigating officer's job. That's detectives.
All right. Now, when the crime scene identification checklist was being filled out, the portion that lists the that's fine. The portion that lists the item numbers or the photograph numbers and the measurements.
Yes.
Did you do that, or did Ms. Mazzola do it, or was it a combination of both at this location?
It was a combination of both, but she did the majority of it.
Of the handwriting?
Yes.
When that was being done, when you were doing the measurements, were you working together?
Yes.
And were those parts of the crime scene identification checklist relating to the measurements and the item numbers filled out as you were investigating the crime scene?
Yes.
Now, I'd like to ask you about the rear gate stain that you recovered on July the 3rd of 1994.
Yes.
Sir, did you see that stain from your own independent recollection on the 13th?
I don't recall seeing it on the 13th.
Okay. And is it your understanding of the people's position that the stain was there on the 13th?
It's this state.
Can I be heard, Your Honor? Because it goes to a state of mind.
At the sidebar.
Thank you.
Thank you, counsel. Proceed.
Sir, did you ever at any time even consider changing your testimony to say that you did see it on the 13th
No,
to help the people?
no.
All right. I'd just like to ask a couple more questions about the collection process of the blood at Bundy. When you were observing Ms. Mazzola, was she changing gloves in between samples that you could see?
I don't recall her changing gloves on purpose between every sample.
Okay. Is that something that is required?
No, it's not.
Now, sir, have you read a number of authors in the area of criminalistics on the subject of collection of blood?
I've read some, yes.
And did you look at the materials that were written by Dr. Henry Lee, a leading advocate of using DNA technology in criminal cases?
Sustained. Rephrase the question, please.
Did you read the materials that Dr. Lee wrote for the Federal Bureau of Investigation?
Certain portions of
Department of
it.
Justice. And is he a leading advocate of using DNA technology, to your knowledge?
Objection.
Sustained.
I didn't hear the grounds.
No. And move to strike.
It's hearsay.
And it's...
Rephrase the question.
Okay. Is he considered to be a leading forensic expert?
Yes.
Right. And does he say in his materials that you have to change gloves between samples?
He doesn't mention that.
Did you also read Mr. Saperstein's or Dr. Saperstein's book, the portions of his book dealing with collection of biological evidence, stains?
Portions of it, yes.
And you said that your interpretation of Dr. Saperstein was that you could not use plastic as a final packaging material. Is that correct?
Yes.
But you could use it as an intermediate one to transport to the lab?
Yes.
And how do you know that, why do you believe that that interpretation is correct?
Overruled.
Can you
Overruled.
approach for me?
Overruled.
I think I...
Overruled. Proceed.
I recently saw an interview of,
All right.
Move to strike.
Sustained.
May we approach?
Yes, with the court
Thank
report.
you.
Thank you, counsel. Proceed.
Does Saperstein say anything, his book, about what you're supposed to use if you collect a wet stain on a wet cotton swatch, what you are supposed to use to get it from the location to the laboratory?
Not in that book, no.
And does Dr. Lee in his handout talk about that?
No.
Did you also read Lee, Ganslin, and DeForest, their work, and the sections pertaining to collection of biological stains?
Portions of it, yes.
And did they advocate, or did they specifically say how you get the wet stain from the scene to the laboratory?
Object on the grounds that if he's asking him for about a specific section of the text, he should refer to it.
Well, it was already
Just as in
cross-examined.
cross-examination, he was referred to the specific
Yes.
sections.
Do you want to tell us which portion of that work?
It was the section already cross-examined on.
All right.
You-
We need the reference for the record, counsel. Mr. Scheck, do you happen to know what chapter?
It starts on page 244. It's the section entitled Collection, Preservation, and Packaging.
Fine, thank you. Just so the record's clear. Proceed.
Let me just approach the witness, just so he knows what we're talking about. Now, sir, does Dr. DeForest, Ganslin, or Lee, do they say specifically how you get a wet swatch from the crime scene to the laboratory?
I don't recall reading it in that passage, no.
Or talk about changing gloves in between samples?
No.
Now, in Dr. Lee's handout that he did for the Department of Justice, does he talk about using clean implements? Well, let me ask you another question first. Is a distinction drawn between clean and sterile in the forensic community?
Yes.
And what does that distinction entail?
Sterile is free of any type of germs or bacteria. It's it's been sterilized. I mean, that's the only explanation I can come up with it.
And what does clean mean
Clean
as opposed to
means
sterile?
it's free of dirt, but it hasn't been, all the bacteria and other germs or whatever aren't killed on whatever's supposed to be clean.
And in terms of the implements that are used for purposes of collecting dry stains, does Dr. Lee say that you need to use clean or sterile instruments?
He says clean.
Now, do any of these reference works that you've consulted indicate that degraded blood will turn or can turn into the suspect's blood?
You should have specific page number citations. This is very misleading. Redirect.
Or will,
None of them do, no.
And do any of the reference works that you've consulted indicate that bacterial growth can cause blood to change into the defendant's blood or the suspect's blood?
No.
Now, you were asked about Section 52520 of the Los Angeles Police Department manual dealing with packaging of biological evidence. Do you recall that?
yes. Proceed.
I remember being asked about the manual, but I don't recall exactly what that section says.
by the way, before we get into this, what is the Los Angeles Police Department manual for? Is it for criminalists or for police officers?
It's meant mainly for police officers.
And did you look at the sections dealing with booking of samples of blood, for example, in preparation for your testimony?
Yes.
And are those sections ones that the criminalists are passed out to the criminalists for you to follow, or is that for police officers?
The manual has areas that deal with all the department personnel. However, those sections are geared towards the police officers.
Okay. Now, I'd like to approach the witness, Your Honor, if I may, and just show him 52520. It's on page 367 of the 1992
All right, Mr.
manual
Scheck, you have that?
Mr. Scheck has.
Just double check.
All right, proceed. Thank you, Counsel. You may.
Sir, I'm showing you this page out of the manual. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
Okay, and does that provide that, and under the title Preserving Wet Stains, items containing wet blood, semen, or chemical stains shall be permitted to dry at room temperature before packaging. Plastic containers or plastic wraps shall not be used as a packaging material. Is that what it provides?
Yes.
And does that mean that, is that talking about final packaging or interim packaging?
Sustain. Rephrase the question.
What kind of packaging is that talking about?
Text speak for itself. I move that it be put into evidence.
Call roll.
My interpretation is that it's for final packaging.
After they've been dried?
Yes.
And after the stains were dried, in this case, what kind of packaging were they placed in by you and Criminalist Mazzola?
They were placed in paper.
Now, would there be any problems that would result if you placed the wet stains in paper at the scene?
Yes.
What problems?
The swatches could leak through the paper and cross-contaminate each other.
And does the plastic prevent the problem of cross-contamination due to leakage?
Yes.
Now, I'd like to turn to the Rockingham location again, and specifically the blood drops that you located and collected along with Criminalist Mazzola leading from the area of the Bronco up to the front door.
Yes.
Can you refer to your crime scene identification checklist and tell us how many stains there were and the distance between them?
I can give you rough distances.
All right, hold on just a second.
Board as well. Mr. Fairtlow will put that up.
All right.
While we're waiting.
Mr. Scheck, you have the page?
Yes,
All right. Mr. Fairtlow?
The only thing, Your Honor, is that I believe the witness has a page.
Why don't you confer with Mr. Goldberg?
Yes.
Make sure you have the...
Sir, on the page that you're going to refer to in order to provide us with this information, did you jot down some information as to the distances?
Yes.
How did you do that?
I made some rough calculations from my property reports.
So in other words, you took the information that was already in your property reports and you just did some calculations based on it?
Yes.
We don't have this page, that's...
Hold on.
Can we perhaps just, it's just one page, could we make a copy right now? That
Mr.
might
Goldberg?
assist us.
Any objection to having a copy, both sides having a photocopy of these notes?
No, they're just notes that he's using to refresh his recollection.
All right, just give me the copy. Give me a Easy B. Thank you. 3 pens. Just for a second. Let Mr. Scheck step back so he's not blocking the witness. All right, Mr. Goldberg. So you can each have a copy.
Sir, just to clarify the record on what you're looking...
Hand
Oh.
that to Mr. Goldberg.
Oh, thank you. I'm
And one
sorry.
copy to Mr. Scheck, please. Thank you. Proceed.
Just to clarify the record in terms of what you're looking at, this appears to be a little diagram. When was this diagram created?
That diagram was created at the Rockingham scene on June 13th.
Okay, and the diagram itself is part of your crime scene identification checklist?
Yes.
All right, so this is an old item over here, at
Yes.
least most of it?
Most of it is,
Now,
yes.
what about the new, is there some new stuff on here?
Yes.
What is the new stuff on here that Mr. Scheck needed a copy of?
There are some measurements that, in between the items of evidence that I calculated and put down.
Okay, and did you do that just recently in order to be able to give us that testimony more efficiently when he testified?
Yes.
All right. Can you tell us, not counting the stain on the Bronco handle, how many stains were there?
Eight stains altogether.
Now, you have on your diagram and as well on the photos, some stains that are labeled A, B, and C, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, you said that it was your custom and your practice to take representative samples.
Yes.
In the case of a trail, what does that generally mean?
In the case of a trail, a representative sample would be one from the beginning, one or two, depending on the length, from the middle, and one at the end of the trail.
Okay, and in this particular case, did you and criminalist Mazzola collect more stains than would customarily be done in this kind of a situation?
Yes.
Were there certain stains which you did not collect in conformity with the representative sample approach?
There were stains that I did not collect along this trail, yes.
Okay, and which ones were those?
That would be the ones with letters on them, A, B, and C.
Okay. But you did cause those to be documented with photography?
Yes.
Now, can you give us the distance between the stains, starting with the ones that began in area near where the Broncos parked?
The approximate distance from 4 to 5, which is, and 4 and 5 are depicted in photograph A. You can see the two cards.
All right, 795, can you see that?
Can we have the picture of that?
We have a bad angle for the jury here.
Your Honor, maybe we can move this over here.
All right.
The distance between 4 and 5 is approximately 12 feet.
And what about the next, 4 in the next stain?
Between 4 and the next stain, or 5 and 6?
Well, 4 and 5.
Between 4 and 5 is 12 feet.
And 5 and 6.
Between 5 and 6 is approximately 8 feet.
And where was A in relationship to 6?
6 was near A, and it was south of 6.
Maybe we can have the photograph that's marked C up on the screen. I don't know whether the resolution on that is good enough. Mr. Fung, maybe you could take a look at the actual photograph and see whether you can tell us where 5, 6, and A are.
5 is in the foreground. 6 is to the upper left, and A is up to the upper right.
Okay. And now, Mr. Fung, the distance between 6 and B.
The distance between 6 and B is roughly 65 feet.
Maybe we can have a picture of D on the Rockingham exhibit. It's People's 120. All right. And what is the approximate distance then between B and C?
I wasn't able to make that calculation from my notes.
Okay, does that kind of turn the corner?
Yes.
All right, as depicted on People's 120, do the call-out lines show the relative positions of B and C?
Yes.
Maybe we can have People's 120F, a picture of that. Can you tell us which one is C? In the perspective shot.
In the perspective shot, C is the card in the
Foreground.
towards the bottom.
All right. And what is the approximate distance then between C and stain 7?
It was again, this is a rough estimate, and it's about 25 to 30 feet, or 25 feet, but that's rough.
Okay, maybe we can see photograph number 5. Photograph number I, is that picture number 7?
Yes, it does.
And then the distance between 7 and 8.
The distance between 7 and 8 is roughly 20 feet.
And can we see photograph K? Does that show number 8?
Yes.
Thank you. Let me resume this thing. John, maybe I'll mark the little diagram that we just got as people's 194 for identification.
194, small diagram.
And I'll place the 194 in.
Madam Reporter, how you doing?
Maybe I can just put this on the elbow quickly just to get the witness to that.
One, please.
Okay, is this the little crime scene sketch that was part of the crime scene identification checklist that shows the various items?
Yes.
And which is the,
This is not the document, by his own admission.
well, what is this?
This is a representation of that.
Okay, but is there a part of this that's new, or that added on to?
Yes.
Okay, what part is that? Do we see that on here?
Yes. Between the circles with the numbers in them are distances that I've made rough calculations to.
Okay, so that's the new part.
Yes.
And did you do that in preparation for your testimony a few days ago?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Fine, please. Fine, please.
Now, you said that you did a phenolphthalein test of the glove that was located at Rockingham. Is that correct?
Yes.
And for what purpose did you do that?
I was requested by Detective Van Adder to perform a pheno test on that item.
Why didn't you refuse?
It was important to his investigation at the time. At the time he requested it.
Did he say why he wanted that information?
He can say yes or no, he was told.
Yes. Well, I'm not sure if he did or not.
Okay. Did you know that there was going to be a search warrant?
Yes.
Why did you think that it was reasonable to conduct this phenolphthalein test in the field?
Performing a phenolphthalein test on the glove was minimally invasive to the item itself. It wouldn't have contaminated it, and by carefully selecting an area, trace evidence would not be disturbed either.
Can you just tell us what's involved in a phenolphthalein test?
A cotton applicator is wet with distilled water. It is applied to a stain so that the stain is transferred onto the wet applicator. The reagent phenolphthalein is placed on the cotton swab or applicator, and then hydrogen peroxide is placed after the phenolphthalein onto the applicator, and if it is positive, immediately a bright pink color appears.
Now, sir, does the cotton applicator have to touch the glove more than that one time in order to collect a little portion of the stain?
No.
Now, you said that when you were inside the Rockingham location, you didn't see any bloody shoe prints or partial shoe prints on the rug. Is that true?
That's correct.
Now, when you were back at the Bundy location, looking at the shoe prints, did they fade out at some point?
They got lighter and lighter, and after a point, we could not detect shoe prints.
Okay. Did you also see something that resembled or was a shoe print in the Bronco when you did the search of the Bronco on the 14th?
What's the objection? Legal basis.
It's speculative, and it's conclusory, and it's leading.
Overruled.
I saw,
All right, let's go report it.
Did you see something when you were looking at the Bronco that resembled a shoe print?
yes,
And where was that?
that was on the driver floor area.
Carpet?
Yes,
So based upon what you saw at the Bundy location, in terms of the shoe prints that were fading out and faded out at some point along the trail, and what you saw in the Bronco, would you necessarily expect to find bloody shoe prints in the defendant's house?
Overruled.
not necessarily, no.
Why not necessarily?
There are a couple of reasons. One is the shoes could have been removed prior to going into the house. And second, if the shoes were still worn going into the house, the shoes may have dried off, or there may not have been enough blood left on the soles to make tracks.
Okay, and do you have any personal knowledge one way or the other as to whether the defendant took his shoes off when he got back to Rockingham?
Strike.
Just showing that he doesn't.
Rephrase the question.
Were you there on the evening of the 12th at the defendant's house?
No.
Okay. Now, did you also take a look at some photographs depicting the shoes of Ronald Goldman, or his boots, at the crime scene?
Yes.
I'd like to take a look at People's 98 and People's 99. Let's try.
Is the feet cut?
It is.
This is People's 98.
All right, Mr. Goldberg, we're going to break at 5.
Did you take a look at this photograph of Ronald Goldman's shoe?
Briefly, yes.
And did you take a look to see whether you could see any evidence of caked on dirt in between the crevices and on the sole of the shoe?
Yes.
Do you see much caked on dirt there?
I don't see a lot, but there is some present.
Okay, let's take a look at the other shoe.
People's Exhibit 99.
And on this shoe, there is somewhat more caked on dirt than on the other one?
Appears to be yes.
And based upon your observations of the crime scene, and particularly the caged-off area, as well as the crime scene photographs of Ronald Goldman's shoes, would you necessarily expect to find detectable dust prints or muddy shoe prints at the defendant's
Objection
Rockingham
leading.
home?
Overruled.
Not necessarily, no.
Why not?
isn't a whole lot of dirt to track around. It may be there, but then again, it may not be there. I wouldn't necessarily expect it to be there, though.
Okay. Well, what do you mean by not a lot of dirt there? Are you talking about the soles of the shoes?
Yes.
Okay, and particularly, if we can go back to 98. Are you particularly talking about 98?
Yes.
Okay. And did this seem to be an exceptionally muddy area at the time on the 13th? As if it
It- Much of the area was dry, but there were some areas that appeared to be muddy because of the blood.
okay. So based upon what you see on the soles of Goldman's shoes and your observations at the crime scene, would you expect an assailant who went back to the defendant's location and walked on his carpet to track a lot of dirt through that location?
I wouldn't expect there to be a lot. I wouldn't expect either way. If it was there, I wouldn't be surprised, but if it wasn't, I wouldn't be surprised either.
Okay. At this time, I'd like to mark that's okay. I'll get to that later.
All right, let's take a break then. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a brief 15-minute recess. Please remember all my admonitions to you. Don't discuss the case amongst yourselves. Don't form any opinions about the case. Don't conduct any deliberations till the matter has been submitted to you. Do not allow anybody to communicate with you. We'll stand in recess for 15. Let's have the jury, please. I'm sorry.
I didn't mark this photograph of the printout of the screen as 192A. Mr. Fung putting the card down.
All right, People's 192A. All right, thank you. Let's have the jurors, please. Fung is again on the witness stand, undergoing redirect examination by Mr. Goldberg. Mr. Goldberg, you may continue.
Just before the break, I wanted to mark two more exhibits as People's 195A. It's a shot of the interior of the Bronco from the outside.
All right, photograph Bronco interior from exterior.
And 195B,
195B.
which is a close-in version of the interior of the carpet,
All right.
depicting
So,
item 33.
So, Mark, you may proceed.
So showing you first what's been marked as 195A for identification.
One, please.
Does this give a perspective shot of the area where the partial shoe print was located?
It
In other words, does it show the area?
The area is included in that area, in that photograph, yes.
Where in reference to where the light is shining of the flashlight is the area that you found this partial shoe print? In that area or?
In that area, which is left of the identification marker.
Okay. And now if we could see 195B. Is 195B a closer in shot?
Yes.
And can you see the area, point out the area for us where you saw what appears to be a partial shoe print?
You can't see it very well in this photograph, but if you see the rubber mat area, in the upper left-hand corner of the rubber, there's some darkened area, stained area.
Maybe we can use the arrows to point to
A
it.
little bit more to the left, down a little bit. That's the general area.
Okay. Maybe we can print that out and mark that as 195B, Your Honor.
About 195.
C. Now, sir, is there any reason why, if the shoe prints at the Bundy location had faded out, there might be a partial shoe print inside the Bronco?
Objection,
Foundation,
speculation.
sustained.
Is there any difference between concrete and carpet in terms of its ability to absorb blood?
There can be, yes.
What?
Depending on if it's thick carpet or close carpet, there may be a difference in the ability for the absorptivity, I guess.
And would you expect more absorption on this carpet if the foot was resting on it for a period of time than someone walking across concrete?
Speculation, objection.
Sustained.
Would you expect more absorption on this type of carpet than on concrete in general?
I believe that the carpet would be able to get areas in the crevices of the sole where concrete would not be able to get to, and it would then show up on the concrete.
Okay, thank you. And when you were actually looking at that area with the naked eye that we just saw in the photograph, was it also extremely faint even to the naked eye?
It was faint, yes.
And faded?
Yes.
Would it surprise you, sir, if by the time the defendant got back to Rockingham, there was nothing there at all?
This form of questioning, I'd ask the
Sustained.
district
Rephrase
attorney
the
to
question.
cease.
If you assume that a assailant got into the Bronco and caused that stain that you just described, would it surprise you if there was nothing left at all by the time he got back to Rockingham?
Overruled.
It would not surprise me.
Now, when you were at the Rockingham location, you saw a pair of socks in the master bedroom.
Yes.
And can you tell us whether you collected those between the collection of item 12 and item 14 by looking at your crime scene identification checklist?
It was collected within that time frame. I don't know if it was collected in between those two times, though.
What are the two time frames? What is the time frame for 12?
The time frame is 4:30.
And that was the stain in the foyer?
Yes.
And what is the time for 14?
The time frame for 14 is 4:40.
And that was the stain in the master bathroom?
Yes.
Now, on cross-examination, you said that the socks appeared out of place. What did you mean by that?
It looked like they didn't belong there.
Were there any shoes there or other clothing or pants, as if someone had undressed in all of their clothing in that area?
Not in that area, no.
Did that cause you to believe that it was out of place?
Yes.
And did you phenolphthalein the socks?
No.
Did you do any close visual examination of the socks when you picked them up?
No, not a close one.
Now, I just want to make sure I understood your testimony. Do you know whether you collected 13 in between 12 and 14? Or,
Oh,
You
I
can
can
answer
answer.
the
I'm sorry. I know it was in that time frame, but I don't specifically recall, or can I tell from the notes if they were
for sure,
for sure?
but it was in that general time frame.
Yes.
Now, with respect to the socks, if there were light specks of blood that had been spattered on the socks, would you expect those to flake off?
I wouldn't expect them to, no.
Did you see any blood that appeared to be caked onto the socks at any time?
No.
And if the socks were wet at the time that they were taken off, would you expect any blood to fall off? Crusted blood?
If the socks were wet,
Yes, when they were taken off.
I wouldn't expect it, no.
Now, you said that when you saw Detective Furman collect item number 10, that you couldn't recall exactly what technique he used. Do you recall?
That's correct.
And you were asked a series of questions as to whether or not it was even possible to use the scoop technique for that item.
That's correct.
When you repackaged item number 10 on the witness stand, how did you do that?
I used the scoop technique.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to mark a portion of the trial transcript as recorded on the cameras as 196 for identification.
Is this a transcript or a videotape?
Well, it's a videotape. I thought we showed it to counsel. I thought we did. Okay.
All right. This would be People's 196.
196. And what did you just do in People's 196, this video clip with item number 10?
I held the envelope in my left hand, and using the scissors, I pushed the plastic bag into the coin envelope.
And is that a scoop technique?
Yes.
Now, getting back to the Bronco, did you actually conduct any search of the interior of the Bronco on June the 13th?
I looked in the interior from the outside, but I never went inside the Bronco.
And was it locked when you saw it on the 13th?
Yes.
Now, you said that you saw a stain on the outside of the Bronco, on the door handle,
Yes.
on the 13th.
Yes.
Did you see any other stains that you recall of your independent recollection on the 13th? Outside.
On the outside, no.
All right. Now, you were asked a series of questions about Detective Furman's testimony. Do you know what the significance, if any, is of additional stains outside the Bronco?
I do now.
Well, when did you figure that out?
During Mr. Scheck's cross-examination,
And what did you gather from Mr. Scheck's cross-examination?
that Detective Furman's credibility was what the line of questioning was directed towards.
All right. Did you ever consider modifying your testimony in any way to help out Detective Furman or any other witness with respect to what you saw on the 13th?
No.
Did you see stains on the 14th in the area of the, what we would refer to, I think, as the running board or the lower portion of the door jamb?
I did see some stains on the 14th.
Sir, I'd like to show you what's been marked as Defense Exhibit 1098 for identification.
Yes.
You said that that exhibit was washed out. What did you mean by that?
The picture didn't show much detail in it, and it appeared that there was extra lighting, or the lighting was adjusted towards the interior of the vehicle, and the white portion of the picture had too much light to show any detail.
And could you actually see any stains in that picture that you were referring to that you saw on the 14th?
I couldn't see them, no.
So how did you place that arrow?
I placed it by memory.
All right. Now, I'd like to mark as our next exhibit 197 for identification what appears to be another picture of the interior of the Bronco.
All right, 197. You may. Mr. Goldberg.
Thank you. Can we see that?
One, please.
Let's just see, can we just see one that's the view of the whole photograph first? Okay, sir, what does this depict?
This depicts the same area. It's the running board of the front driver door of the Bronco.
Okay, and now can we zoom in on the running board area? Can you maybe go back just a little bit? Okay, that's fine. Now, Mr. Fung, can you see any of the stains depicted there that you were referring to that you saw on the 14th?
Yes.
And this photograph that we're looking at now, is this one that you caused to be taken on the 14th?
Yes.
Maybe using the telestrator, we can mark. Well, first of all, how many stains do you see?
There are, depending on how you count stains, 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, let's see if we can mark all 4 of them.
Okay, up and to your left, right there, there's 2 of them there.
All right, let's just have one mark for the
Okay.
2 of, or let's circle the 2 of those. Now, sir, when the door is closed, if you know, is it possible to see those two?
I don't believe it's possible to see those when the door's closed.
All right, now let's mark the next stain.
From that circle there, if you go in the 7 o'clock direction, there's a small blip right there, and it's to the left of that. Yes.
So these would be 3 of the 4 stains that you're referring to?
Yes.
And what about the one that we just marked that's below the 2 stains? Is it possible to see that when the door is closed?
Yes.
Now let's go to the 4th stain.
The 4th area is back towards the right and down, and there's a smear that's fairly elongated along that ridge. That's the general area.
Can we print out this document? Can we mark this 197A, Your Honor?
197A.
Now, sir, were any of these stains that you tested later on in July?
Yes.
Which one?
The circle, the stain circled to the bottom left is the one I believe I tested with phenolphthalein.
Okay. And what about the other 2 then were not tested in July?
No.
Perhaps we can put,
Hold on, Goldberg.
maybe we can put the date of July 790. Can you write that, 794? You're talking about the stain that you said was in the 7 o'clock position from
Yes.
the first stain
That
that you
one
marked?
there.
What date, 7?
94. Perhaps we can mark this as People's 197B.
Yes, 197B.
Your Honor, I'd like to mark as 198, People's 198, an exhibit that's entitled Analyzed Evidence Report, dated 7/7/94.
All right, analyze evidence report.
I asked the whole document to be offered, mischaracterizing it, dated as 7/7/94.
All right, would you show Mr. Scheck the item? Yes, you may.
Sir, I'd just like you to take a look at People's 198 for identification and tell us what that is.
This is a analyzed evidence report that I wrote concerning the detection of blood on the exterior portion of the Bronco.
Okay, do you know which date it was that you did the phenolphthalein tests on the Bronco that are related in this report?
On the 6th.
Okay. Now, sir, is it your practice, it was what? What was the date of the tests?
According to this, it was July 6th.
Okay. Now, do you have an independent recollection of that, or is it just the report?
That's the report.
All right. Now, is it always your practice when you do a phenolphthalein test to write an analyzed evidence report the same day?
No,
Is it always your practice to write it the same week necessarily?
not necessarily.
Is it always your practice to write an analyzed evidence report when you do a phenolphthalein test?
No, it is not.
In fact, did you do some, were some phenolphthalein tests done on the Bronco on the 13th, on the brake pedals in your presence?
On the 14th,
On the 14th, excuse me.
yes.
And who did that?
That was done by Criminalist Mazzola.
And is that the same phenolphthalein test that you described to us earlier in your testimony?
Yes.
What were the results of the phenolphthalein tests on the brake pedals?
They came back positive for the presence of blood.
And how many pedals did she do?
She did all three.
Did you or Criminalist Mazzola collect any stains or take any swatches from those brake pedals?
No,
So you did not collect any evidence on those?
that's correct.
Is it your practice to always collect evidence when you get a positive phenolphthalein result?
No,
Now, did you also do some phenolphthalein testing on a Bentley vehicle?
yes.
At this time, I'd like to mark as People's 199 for identification. Another analyzed evidence report on a black Bentley.
199.
So directing your attention to People's 199. It's a two-page document, Your Honor. For identification, what is that?
This is a analyzed evidence report that I wrote concerning the search for blood in the black Bentley.
When did you first see the black Bentley?
I first saw the Bentley on June 13th.
And when did you actually do the phenolphthalein testing that's related in the report?
That was done on June 30th.
When did you write the report?
I wrote the report on October 6th.
And did the report indicate that in the various areas that you tested for blood that you did not find any?
Yes,
Right. So is this consistent with your custom and your practice that you do not necessarily write an analyzed evidence report contemporaneously or immediately after the phenolphthalein testing?
that's correct.
Your Honor, could we approach for one moment before I ask my next
Yes,
few
with the
questions?
reporter, please.
Why is it your practice, when you're collecting stains, such as in the Bronco, to take representative samples and not collect everything?
That is the way I was trained to do my crime scene analysis. our investigations. We collect the best stains that we feel are appropriate for analysis, and it would be almost impossible to collect every stain and not bog down the entire system.
Okay. Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to refer back to our Bronco board, if we may, and ask the witness some questions about that. Now, sir,
All right, this is People's Exhibit, which? Is this 26?
I think it's 172.
Proceed, Mr. Farrell.
it's 172. And I'd like to mark a vehicle search checklist
All right, that'll be People's 200.
for, actually, it's entitled Vehicle Search Notes.
Vehicle search notes. How many pages, Mr. Goldberg?
This is 6 pages.
6 pages, thank you. Mr. Scheck, you're familiar with that?